is ready. Please don't print it out. That's okay. I'm just gonna note down here that we're having this meeting. Okay. This is here. This is here. Oh, and you're here. How has your day been? Good? Glad to hear that. Oh, mine as well, thank you. I think if we're in a good mood, we're bound to get some good planning done, which is very good. We have a lot to go through. Just look at this checklist that I made for us. It's quite a bit, but sit down, make yourself comfortable, take your time. Shall I prepare something to drink? Okay. Coffee, tea, anything? No? Okay, but if you change your mind, please do let me know. Okay, and let's get started. First, I'm thinking let's just draw the overall picture of the event. It's, from what I understand, it's supposed to be a fall-themed party, right? A quite informal party or gathering that would have this nice and cozy atmosphere to it. Okay. And from what I remember from your emails and from our phone call, you don't want it to start looking like Christmas yet, right? Yeah, at this time of year it might get a little bit tricky because, the end of November is approaching and the seasons kind of start merging together. Everybody seems excited about Christmas earlier and earlier, but I know that we want to keep this fall themed, right? Okay, I get that. Let's look at the calendar here. Today's the 20th, right? So we don't have that much of November left, but I think with our team, we definitely could manage to make it on the 26th. What do you think? Or maybe Friday, the 25th? What do you think? No worries. When people are gonna hear about this party, they're gonna cancel everything else that they have. So I wouldn't worry about people planning other things. Don't even think about that. And like I said, we have done such things and we are experienced. We can pull this off. Okay? If you say fall themed party, we're on it. You're opposed the 25th, okay? Yeah, that is correct. Sometimes people complain that parties on Fridays are very tiring because they don't have enough time to prepare, get ready after work on Friday. Sometimes they work late shifts, not great. So maybe Saturday would be a good option. Of course, going into Sunday. And there's my question too. What time would you like to start? Okay. 5 p.m. And would you like to make this a whole night party or maybe just the evening? Okay, all right. So that also clears things up because we will need an appropriate venue for that, of course, with places for people to sleep. Good. That's great. So we've got that. I can check this off. And speaking of the venue, I have prepared 4 options. Although from our conversation now, I think you can say no to 2 out of 4, but you can still take a look. So this was my first option. Here, this beautiful tenement house with the breathtaking apartment inside. But like I say, if you're planning to invite more people, they might not fit in here, especially if they're going to stay the night. But maybe for another occasion. My next idea was just a beautiful apartment in an apartment complex, but same case, maybe even worse, just smaller again, but beautiful, and just so that you could keep it in mind for your next gathering that we're going to plan together. Now this one I would consider seriously. This is a beautiful house that I found. It's by a huge lake and it's quite big. I think it would fit the exact amount of people that you mentioned. And of course it has beautiful interior and the view just speaks for itself. What do you think? I'm glad you like it, but let's take a look at the 4th one. Here, the size is almost exactly the same. The only thing that changes is the area that it's located in. The previous one was by a lake. Here we have woods, but that's basically it. It just depends on preference and what vibe you're going for, and we're going to talk about that in a second. But like I say, the house is almost the exact same size, and I think it also has some beautiful feel to it and coziness and warmth to it. Well, of course, that's not a decision that you make right away, of course. Right. So, that has been discussed. Now, how would you like your guests to get there? Do you mind them driving their own cars? Would you like to provide some kind of transportation for them? Or is that okay if they just organize that by themselves? Okay. So, very complex. I get that. I'll just note that down real quick. I'll just have to make a call about that on Monday. What about the invite list? Do you already have it? Okay. No, I understand this is a tough one. But I think it would be best if we settled that by the end of today. Do you think that's possible? Yeah. Okay. So I'm just gonna note that down. Invite list. So I don't need the full list now. Just tell me if we're planning to allow people to take their kids with them. Okay. What about their pets? Dogs, cats, bearded dragons. Okay. No, I understand. Okay. Done. Now we get to the more detailed stuff. Let's talk themes. Do you have an idea for a theme, or do you even want to keep a theme for your party? Okay. So I prepared 3 of these kind of mood boards, or just sets of pictures to help you imagine a style or a theme that I mean. And just to make it easier for you, I chose 3 themes, and maybe you'll choose something from that. So we have boho, we have rustic, and modern. And just to help you visualize that, for example, here we've got the boho. So lots of cozy materials, natural elements. We've got some lights, candles. It's very, very warm, and you can do a lot with it. I think it's very versatile. And it would fit in really well with the fall theme. Okay. Alright. The next one is the rustic theme. It's a little bit similar to boho, but I would say it's much less detailed and colder. There's just less of this Pinterest coziness. It just depends on what you're going for. I think this would work also really well. Okay. And the last option I prepared, mostly having in mind the apartment complex and the tenement house. I don't think we could pull off modern, but if you were just sure you wanted to go for it, our team would just do their best. Okay, I see. So boho. Yeah, that's my personal favorite as well. Okay. Next, would you like to keep a dress code? I know that it's supposed to be informal, but a dress code could be anything. I was thinking, this is just my my rough idea. I was thinking maybe we could do a sweater dress code. everyone wears a sweater, which is like obligatory. What do you think? If you don't like it, you can tell me. Okay. Okay. And the rest would be up to them, up to the guests. So let's do that. Why not? Next, invitations. Do we want analog or online? So, on paper or on your Gmail? Oh, I see. Yeah, I see your point. Even the texture of paper makes for a more cozy experience, right? I understand. So we would go for analog. Okay. I have to call our graphic designer. It's best to do it today. Graphic designer. They always prefer us to do it ahead of time. Sometimes it's just not possible. Urgent. Now let's plan the part that everybody will be waiting for. So, food. First and foremost, from the guests that you know you want to invite, do you already have the knowledge of their any dietary restrictions, allergies, any special needs? Gluten tolerance. Okay, so we would provide options, gluten-free options, of course. Anything else? Some are lactose intolerant. Also options. Okay, next big question. Are we interested in any type of catering? Yes. Okay. Okay. How would you like that too? Oh, okay, so you don't want it full? You want to still prepare something homemade? I see. Oh, okay. So the soup and the dessert would be homemade? Okay, yeah, I see that. They're the most homey. Okay, I see. And the rest would be from the catering company, right? Great. Okay, I'm gonna note that down. Soup and dessert. Homemade. Appetizers. Snacks. Finger food. Catering. Are we interested in any second course, or is the soup enough plus the many appetizers, salad bars? Yeah. I see. No second course. Yeah, and it just makes for a more informal atmosphere again. Seems less like a Christmas family gathering, right? More like a party. So that's cool. Okay, I like that. kind of predicted that you and your hardworking will still insist on preparing something. So I took cookbooks with me if we needed to browse through them. Here, for example, I have this cookbook with breads, but I think that's for another occasion. Maybe let's look through this one and see if we like any of the soups or any of the desserts. Here I marked the chapter with pumpkins. So we've got a pumpkin cake, pumpkin crepes, maybe not. And this one, this cinnamon braid made with yeast dough, lots and lots of cinnamon. That sounds incredible, and I think your guests would be quite impressed if they saw something like this. So that's an option. Cannelloni, another pasta, but maybe pumpkin soup. I think it could be very nice and on theme. Stuffed zucchini, pasta. Oh, and this is a zucchini soup with lemon and black lentils. Also sounds quite warming but refreshing at the same time. Did anything catch your attention? Oh, this one? Okay. None of the desserts really? I get that, okay. But you want to keep this soup. Yeah, that's very cozy. That's just a classic. So I'm gonna note down that we want for soup, we want pumpkin soup from this cookbook. Of course, you don't need to worry about shopping at all. We're gonna take care of everything like that. Okay, so let's try our luck with desserts in another cookbook. Let's do this one. Here, from what I remember, desserts are at the back. Yep, there we go. Let's see. Baked pears. Okay. Those are more like poached pears. But I think that's pretty inconvenient to serve to a big amount of people. So maybe not. This is a bit more summery, so maybe also not. But this one, a pie with toffee and apples. That would be amazing. It screams fall. Chocolate clafouti, so like a French-inspired dessert. Okay. Quite nice. Maybe a pecan pie. pecan pie with maple syrup in it. Or maybe even Bakewell tart. What do we think? Oh, I see. Okay. I saw your excitement right away. There we go. Not this one, this one. Yeah. I'm not surprised you chose this one. I think it's a great choice. Okay. So, dessert pie with toffee and apples. That is Jamie Oliver 292. Amazing. Okay. Last thing from this section are beverages. Tell me, what do you think? Do we want alcoholic beverages or just non-alcoholic? Both. Okay. So, alcoholic beverages and non-alcoholic. Great. And how about the alcohol? How should it be served? Oh, so you only want mulled wine, no other alcohol. Okay. We could definitely work with that. No drinks, cocktails. Okay, I see. I see. Would you like that to be outside of the table, the main table? Maybe in like a bar area? Yeah, that's always a good option. And what about like tea and coffee bars? Maybe even we could make them cards, coffee cards and tea cards. They're really adorable. You like that idea? Okay. So a coffee and a tea cards. This way, you know, everyone could make their tea and coffee however they wanted to. Okay. Our next point is furniture. Now, I know that our venues are perfectly and fully furnished, but sometimes that doesn't really match our expectations. So, are you thinking of anything specific? Would you like to rent out a beautiful table? Maybe some armchairs? Anything? Armchairs. Okay. How many would you like? Okay. And would you like them to match the ones that are already in the venue, or? Okay. Yeah. As much as possible, of course. Great. Anything else comes to your mind? We can, of course, always add to the list, but for now. Okay. Okay, good. Next is dinnerware. Do you have any preference? Any ideas? Simple, minimalistic. Great. Would you like any type of a centerpiece? some vases maybe on the table. Yes, that's correct. We try not to disturb and keep the guests from talking to each other. We don't want them to look at the vase. We want them to connect with one another, right? So that's a good point. I think I would do a nice wreath at the middle of the table and maybe just some accents here and there. Not to, overpack the table. Maybe some flowers, but not necessarily in a vase. Some wooden sculptures, little figurines maybe. Okay. Good. Great. And going along with that, we have outdoor decor and indoor decor. Let's maybe start with the outdoor. We're thinking about the houses, right? So there are gardens, and we could decorate it in many, many ways. We could do some lanterns, some fairy lights, some garlands. I know that it's getting colder, but we could still do a garden table with chairs. People could go there with their blankets and just sit and look at the sky. What would you like from what I mentioned? The fairy lights. Yeah, around the trees, for example. Of course, we will take care of that. Just tell us what you want. Okay. That's a very good idea. Yeah, I like that. That's that. Any lanterns? Could be on the ground, could be, for example, hanging from a branch. Okay. Would you like any welcome signs? Any signs at all? Okay. Alright. Not necessary. I get that. What about decor and also lights indoors? Do we want candles? Do we want to even light the fireplace? Because I know some people who prefer to stick with the no flame policy for their parties, just to keep it very safe and basically not to worry. Okay. What about other decor? Aside from the table, like, do we want any flowers all over the house? Do we want anything like that, or just keeping it simple? Okay. Okay. All right. And would you like that to be a DIY or just store-bought? Because our team is amazing at making handmade decorations. So just tell us. Okay. I'll have to talk to Lily about it. Just give me 1 second. Lily at Great. Now I had another idea that we could was thinking we could do keep cozy kind of area with blankets, with pillows, cushions, maybe even fuzzy socks. It could be a big chest or a big box or a big basket of those things, and people could pick from it and choose whatever they wanted, and then gather by the fireplace or on the couch and just spend some quality time together. What do you think? Is that too informal or is it just right? Okay. You like that. I'm very glad. Okay. But you're thinking no fuzzy socks. Okay. May the guests bring their own socks. Okay. So that's that. Yeah, it would be in the living room, in the like open space area. Yeah. Let's talk entertainment. Have you considered any games that you would like to include? Maybe even board games. Do you think that's no? Okay. So maybe not board games, but any type of. Okay. Totally understandable. My last little pointer here is a photo wall or a photo backdrop, selfie wall, whatever you want to call it. My last pointer here is a selfie wall / photo backdrop. It's becoming more and more popular, even regular parties at home. And people are really, really enjoying it. I think, and I've observed that. It's a nice souvenir to take home with you, and it's just so much better than a photo taken at the table, as we used to do. So I think we could think about that. Okay. But do we want it outside, inside, maybe on the porch area? Okay. And that would also be fall themed. Yeah. Pumpkins. Hay. Don't worry about it being a cliche. It's not. It's just something what people enjoy and have positive connotations with. It would be a nice souvenir, I'm sure. Don't worry. Yeah. Especially if you're going for the more informal tone, that's totally fine. Okay, let's move on to the music. First and foremost, who is making the playlist? Do you want us to make it, or will you be the DJ here? Okay, sure, no problem. Of course. We just have to know again what kind of vibe we're going for. What kind of genre. And also important, would you like it to stay consistent throughout the night or evening, or would you like it to change as time passes? So like, when the guests arrive, then the dinner, then the leisure time, like, okay? Sure. Here another point. Playlist. winter will be our last. Can you imagine? And that's a goodbye gift. Do we want any goodbye gifts? Anything small but remarkable that the guests could take home with them? Okay. Are we thinking more like small gift bag or maybe wrapped? Since we're going for the boho theme, we could do like paper. Yeah, exactly. Okay. So that was a lot of work, but I'm so glad we had this little meeting here and that we settled so many details. We just know what's next, right? So I assure you, you're in great hands. We will just need to meet one more time just to discuss further details and make sure everything's on the right track. Please tell me when do you have like a time slot that we could meet? Tuesday or Wednesday, right? Let me check. Wednesday, what time? Okay. Sure, we can do that. Great. Amazing. I'm already excited and I can't wait. I can't wait to see how it comes together. Like every time. This is my job, right? Okay, see you on Wednesday then. Take care. Bye-bye.